Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Mr. Roy from the New Legacy Academy, and I'm here once again to beam intellectual light into everyday societal issues so that we can begin to understand it, and like that, we begin to provide practical solutions to them. Today, we'll be talking about an issue that is very germane and pertinent to our societal development, and that is who is to blame, followers or the leaders? I hear Nigerians talk about this a lot of times, and oftentimes you also hear people say, we know even better pass these people. Oh, look at the way Nigerians are treating themselves. If they have the opportunity to become leaders, wouldn't they do worse? Are leaders actually the problem or the followers? I put it to you today that leaders are the problems and not the follower. I'm going to build a context to this, and I'm going to go way back. So long time ago, a group of people formed a community, and they were good people. Husbands were good to their wives, fathers were good to their family and their immediate neighbors. So let's look at just the man. Has kids and a wife. Fantastic husband, fantastic father. So they just make sure the home is good enough, the home is secured and everything. But soon enough, they realize that the road that links their home to the school, if it is not in a good shape, their children will not be able to get to school. If the hospital that is far away from where they stay is not in a good shape, they will not have a place to be able to go when they are sick. If the policeman who has nothing to do with them directly is not well paid, is not well fed, then security becomes an issue. So as a follower, beyond taking care of their immediate environment and their immediate family, they soon realize that there has to be someone who looks after the common good. The common good is not close, it's far away. If I have a family, for instance, my responsibility is to care for my family, make sure they have food to eat, make sure they have roof over their head, make sure they have clothes to wear, make sure their mental health is sound within the confines of my home. That will make me a good father and a good husband and a good wife and a good child. My point is, as a follower, my responsibility is limited. My responsibility is limited. And if I can perform my responsibility as a follower, as a father, I have done enough. Now, long time ago, they soon realized that being a good father, being a good child, being a good wife, making sure your immediate environment is safe and secure and healthy wasn't good enough. They needed the common good to be protected. They needed the common good to be served. They needed the common good to be serviced, to be funded. The common good included police. Common good included the military. The common good included healthcare. The common good included good roads. The common good included hope, direction. Because if you remove leadership and leave followers alone, it won't work. Followers cannot lead themselves. If you look at it from a broad perspective, you just see at best very selfish entities looking after their immediate needs themselves, and together they will crumble. Eventually the society will fail, and they decided to appoint amongst themselves the best among themselves to be able to do the job of making sure the common good is protected, because they realized that personal good becomes nothing, becomes useless if the common good is not protected. So they decided to put funds together and choose, however they did it, somebody who would be watching over that. So being a good husband, being a good wife, being a good child, being a good family man is good. As you're doing that, you're then paying someone else to ensure that the common good is served. That is where leadership comes in. So it is totally wrong for a leader to look at followers and say you are the problem. We know by default followers cannot work. Followers cannot come together. Followers don't achieve anything. They can't have a goal. They can't drive a goal. They can't have a common purpose. There is no way five families will have a common purpose. So they will be working across purpose, right? So followers are not meant to work. Followership cannot work. There has to be a leader to drive it. So the conversation of, oh, followers are to blame, followers by default will always not be perfect, will always be selfish, will always look after themselves and their immediate family. It is the leadership that serves, funds, and supervises, watches over, protects the common good. So when you see your roads not fixed, don't link it to our behaviors as Nigerians. It's not our job. We don't have the capacity to make it happen as followers. It's not. And as a nation, as a society, we must begin to realize the place of leadership. Everything falls apart without leadership. Everything will fall apart if the common good is not protected. And so we must take the place of leadership very fundamental. We cannot afford to be slaughtering quality leadership on the altar of tribalism, on the altar of skin color, on the altar of what do they call it? Owambeism. It's a serious business. It's not time for partying and being sentimental. Focus on it. And guess what? It's just one leader you need. You can have many followers, but it's just one good leader that you need. So the process of electing a good leader, followers must take it very, 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 very seriously. I will drive this home with, I won't mention name because this channel is not about mentioning name. It is just about beaming intellectual light to societal issues so that we can begin to find practical solutions to it. So a couple of years ago, I think 1 or 2 years ago, there was a soldier that was driving against traffic, and a very senior government official stopped the soldier, ordered for the soldier to be arrested, and he blamed the people around, he blamed followers around for not ensuring that the soldier is not allowed to drive one way. And I'm like, okay, a leader is pointing fingers at, it's an aberration. You build systems, followers will go beyond selfishness in protecting their own families. They can also be doing certain things to damage the image and the values of the society. You build system to correct that. It's not your job to point fingers at followers. By default, they won't work because they don't look after the common good. You are the one who would ensure that the common good is looked after. So when that senior official was blaming Nigerians around, I was like, okay, do you even know if the Nigerian that you're blaming has a job? Have you built a quality healthcare service for him or her whose father is in the hospital to be calm and have a rest of mind and know that okay, everything is secured? For all you know, he or she is struggling to pay school fees. He or she is struggling to pay hospital bills of his or her dying parents. If you have not put the structures that will watch out and secure the common good in place, you lack the moral ground, you lack the capacity, you lack the effrontery, you lack the right, the legal right to be able to point fingers at followers and tell them why are they not doing that. Have you built the right system to ensure that the follower will look at the soldier and say you cannot drive one way? Wouldn't that follower be beating black and blue and nothing is what you're going to do? Do you understand? So Nigerians must get this straight. Your problems are your leaders, not your brother who is hustling and borrowing money to feed. Not your sister who cannot pay the hospital bill of his diabetic patient parents. They are not your problem. They are not your problem. And by default, followers cannot drive a goal, cannot drive a vision by themselves. They need a leader who will show direction, who would give hope, who will motivate, who will correct, who will comfort, who will do a lot of things to ensure that the common good is secured. And so, with these very, very simple points of mine, I believe I have been able to convince and not confuse you that you should never blame your neighbor for the issues that Nigeria faces. You should never blame their actions, except the action that does not ensure a good leader gets into office. Your neighbor is not your problem, but your leaders are, and you should ensure that every opportunity you have to put the best man in office, you do that. Until you do that, the society will continue to crumble. Thank you very much, and I'll see you very, very soon. Bye.